had a situation a number of years ago where I'd run out of water for my desk at home. I went across the road to the local shopping centre, and automatic pilot, I walked up to the blue cask of water, went out to grab it without any thought at all, and then took a step back and thought, okay, what's going on here? Who's messing with my head? Because what's the difference between the quality of the spring water? Now, hear what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the packaging here. I'm talking about what's the difference between the quality of the spring water in this packet compared to the quality of the spring water in that packet there. What's the difference between the blue packet and the cheap looking black and gold packet? What's the difference?
Labeling.
Yep, aside from the packaging, what's the difference?
Water's water.
Water's water, isn't it? There's no difference. In fact, spring water is spring water. And I thought, okay, what's going on here? Now, I said to the shopping centre, the shop owner, I want to go and get my camera and take a picture of this. And after I convinced him I wasn't an investigator, he told me that the Piccadilly brand, the Marble Hill brand, these brands, or like this, all take turns in creating this stuff. They're on a roster contract basis to produce the cheap version. It is exactly the same. I mean, there is no cheap spring out there compared to a quality spring coming out the ground. We all agree spring water is spring water. So, having known all of that, using all of my logic, all of my reasoning, why is it that I still grabbed the blue packet and went to the cash register? Why is that, guys? Why? After my logic and reasoning. Because my perception, I still perceived it to be better quality. And I didn't want a cheap looking packet sitting in my desk anyway. I mean, do you put a black and gold tissue box on the desk in your office? Most people don't do that. So, I want you to write this down. Factor one, please, in your notes there, just under the bottom of the page. Write down factor one is I still perceive the blue packet to be more. Just write it down at the top of the first page. Factor one, I perceive the blue packet to be more. So I perceive the blue packet to be better. The second point is not only did I pick the blue packet, but I was happy to pay more. You see, the difference in the product was what, $1 or $2? But I was happy to pay more. So I want to lay the foundation of this session about perception in getting the business. It's really easy. If you get a referral, a person rings up and says, hey, one of my friends is one of your landlords. He tells me you're the best property manager in town. Come out and sign up my business. I don't think we need points of difference because I already know that you're really good, correct? But if they're coming in cold, off the street, off a phone call, they don't know who you are, now it's about the perception they have of you is the most important thing. There's a really, a good example I'd like to give here. Let's say we've got two offices in the same street, in the same location. Same marketplace, same dynamics. One office is really, really good at property management, but their signage is lousy, their marketing is lousy, their booklets are lousy. It's just, there's no work at all in their packaging. Down the road is another business. They're really lousy at property management, but their signage is brilliant, their marketing is brilliant. Who's going to get the more business out of the two? The one that is perceived to be better. Does that make sense? Which is sad. Now, the other bit that I'd just like to talk about is if a client comes to you and sees you against your competitors, judging you against your competitors, if they don't see any difference in their mind of how different you are, if they can't see any perceived difference or any perceived point of difference, price will now become the issue. Price will now become the difference. If you're a person that attracts a lot of fee discount requests, it could be because they don't perceive or see you any different from your competitors. Does that make sense? It's all about perception, about having good points of difference to stand out against your competitors if we're going to win the business and price not become an issue. Let's get started. Thanks, Nina.